everyone, and welcome to my speech. My name is Katie Montgomery, and this is my audience. Today I'm going to be doing my informational speech on the art of tattooing. Tattoos are a very beautiful form of art which have been increasing in popularity throughout their long history. Many people would not believe that, taken in 2012 from tattoo statistics, the annual amount of U.S. spending is $1.65 billion on tattoos every year, which is a phenomenal amount of money to be spent on tattoos. Tattoos have also become very mainstream in society today, so chances are, out of everybody listening to this speech, most of you either have a tattoo, want a tattoo, or know somebody with a tattoo. I personally have 2 tattoos, which I got to express very important moments in my life that I wanted to remember forever in a beautiful way. There is no doubt that the art of tattooing is very popular and has had a very long history of many different styles, which continue to flourish today. So first, I am going to discuss a brief history of tattoos. Tattoos have been a technique that have been practiced around the world for over a millennium. There were many different reasons for people of the past to want to get tattooed, but one of the first was that they did it for religious beliefs. There was one point that Christians would actually get the ichthys symbol, which is better known as the fish symbol, tattooed on themselves to represent being a Christian. Also in India, they would get Mendi tattooed on themselves, either permanently or temporarily, to also express their beliefs. The second reason people had from the past to get tattooed was to remember the passing of a loved one, which we call today memorial tattoos. And this is just a way for them to remember their loved one who has passed in a beautiful way. Also, dating back to the beginning of the history of tattoos, many people would use them in a much more practical way and actually use them as a form of acupuncture to relieve joint stress. According to David Isaacs, body art in Europe dates at least 6,000 or 7,000 years ago, with Egyptian mummies from the end of the 2nd millennium BC to having been discovered with tattoos. Now, many people don't realize that tattoos have a very vast history that goes beyond the United States, although tattooing in the United States has become very popular. According to Mark Blanchard, Martin Hildebrandt set up a permanent tattoo shop in New York City in 1846 and began a tradition by tattooing sailors and military servicemen from both sides of the Civil War. It was very common in the past for sailors as well as soldiers to get tattooed before going off to serve their country, most times getting tattoos such as pin-up girls. Unfortunately, a few years later, tattoos did take a very bad turn and received very negative connotation when they began being used throughout prisons as well as biker gangs to represent what gang these people were from. This did eventually end, and tattoos began to receive a more positive outlook from society. So now that I've given a brief history, I will go through several different tattoo styles as well as examples and meanings for each. From past to present, tattoos have had many different styles, and each were unique in their own way. The first is the traditional style, and a few examples are pin-up girls, anchors, ships, and swallows. This style of tattoo is probably the most popular and was first tattooed on sailors and soldiers, as I mentioned before. And the colors in these tattoos were very bold with sharp black outlines. Pin-up girl tattoos were just tattoos mostly received by soldiers, and they were just extremely attractive women that the men would want to pin up on their walls, as we do with posters today. The other three, anchors, ships, and swallows were normally tattooed on sailors to represent their love of the sea. The second style of tattoo is the tribal style, and this is probably the oldest style of tattoo. A few examples are Polynesian tattoos, Samoan tattoos, and a more generic animal tribal tattoo. These tattoos are made up of solid black lines and also colored in with solid black. Somebody would probably get tattooed on them the Polynesian or Samoan styles if they were either from that tribe or have very strong family ties. The famous celebrity The Rock actually has a Samoan tattoo on his arm to represent his family and his family tree. Somebody would get an animal tribal tattoo if they believe that they share the same characteristics with that animal. For example, I use a tiger to symbolize the characteristics of strength, power, and beauty. The next style is flash style tattoos, and a few examples of these are hearts, butterflies, and roses. This is probably the simplest style of tattoo, and they can usually be found in tattoo parlors hanging on the walls. So it's very easy to just go in, pick out a tattoo, and get it done that day. Hearts are usually used to represent love. Butterflies could represent growth, freedom, or beauty. And roses usually represent romance, love, or elegance. The next style of tattoo would be the black and gray style. And this is the style of tattoo that was used among prisoners as well as biker gangs. Two examples of these would be skulls or angel wings. And as you can see, these have no color to them at all, and it's mainly black and gray shading. A skull tattoo would normally represent death or mortality, and angel wings would either represent freedom or some spiritual belief. Finally, we have color tattoos. This style of tattoo is newer and mostly used today. And a few examples would be flowers as well as koi fish. This style of tattoo mixes several different colors to create a very vibrant and beautiful tattoo. Flowers could represent growth, beauty, and koi fish normally represent good fortune or good luck. So as you can tell, many of these styles, as well as the design meanings, do overlap. And you can also customize your own tattoo so that it has even more meaning to you. So now that I've discussed several popular styles as well as their meanings, I will speak about tattoos in society today. Tattoos today have become increasingly popular, and it is very common to see somebody walking down the street who is covered in tattoos. According to the article from PR Newswire, currently 1 in 5 U.S. adults has at least one tattoo, which is about 21% of our population. Also, it is very common and easy to find a tattoo shop in your own town. From tattoo statistics, the number of tattoo parlors in the United States is 21,000. And most times today, you can find a tattoo parlor and a few minutes away, there will be another one. Unfortunately, some people still do look down upon tattoos, but in today's society, they are much more accepted. And today, tattoos are even looked at as an actual form of art. So in conclusion, I hope that you can take away that tattoos today are a very big part of our society and can be used to express one's individuality. Tattoos are a beautiful form of art which have had a very long history and are made up of many different styles, and the art form continues to thrive today. As I mentioned previously, Annually, about $1.65 billion are spent on tattoos every year, so it is easy to say that this form of art is thriving. And so from past to present, tattoos have had a very long and interesting journey, from being used as a form of acupuncture to now being used to express one's individuality. Tattoos have come a very long way, and they continue to look very promising to our society's future. Thank you.